Hi, and welcome to your Heart Talk series. My name is Rodolfo Young, and I'll be guiding you through the next 9 days of heart opening and expansion. So today you begin a journey of self-immersion. And the task at hand is not to give you more beliefs, thoughts, and layers, but instead to help you shed the ones that are there now, and to create a space in which your deepest self, your authentic original self at heart, can be heard. Now, your first 2 days, including today, I ask you to practice silence. And this practice is essential, and you will find much benefit if you fully commit to it. Now, when I say practice silence, it doesn't mean that you have to go completely into silence unless that is your choice. It simply means become aware of your speech. It means when you wake and as you begin your day, become aware of the chatter in your mind. Become aware of whatever chatter you have externally, out loud. Become aware of your words and whether they are needed or simply filling space. And become comfortable with silence. As you do so, you may find moments in which you feel you absolutely need to speak. Wonderful. Go ahead and speak and be aware of what you speak. Also, do your best to refrain from computer and phone use over these next couple days. I recommend you only check email to access these Heart Series talks and any other absolutely essential correspondences and things that you need to check. But otherwise, give yourself a little bit of a digital fast. Give yourself a little digital cleanse. Let yourself start to experience the world around you instead of the world that encompasses the electronics around you. Now, today's focus is on meditation. You get to focus and observe your thoughts with curiosity. Don't worry if you've not meditated before or you think you cannot sit still. The primary practice is to simply become curious about your mind, your thoughts, and your patterns. And coming back to silence, let me tell you a little bit about this, and then I'll also tell you a little bit about meditation to give you a head start and some tips and tricks on how to really get the most benefit out of these practices of both silence and meditation. So in silence, as an essential tool in this process, it will act as a surgeon's knife to cut through the layers and take you deep quickly and cleanly. So for these first couple of days, remain in silence to your best ability and look for creative ways to communicate without words. You can use body language, you can use eye contact. I recommend if you're using eye contact, you also smile. Otherwise, it's a little creepy. It is important that your journey begin in this way, with curiosity and in a emptying of your canvas. And this is what the silence is there for. It will allow you to remove the surface distractions that usually keep us from moving inward. So some tips on being silent in the world. As I said, smile and make eye contact when interacting with people. If there's something you absolutely need to convey and gestures is not working, go ahead, write it down. So make sure you take some paper and pen with you. And again, if you find that going into complete silence is going to be too much and too daunting for you, know that there is no right or wrong way to do this. It is simply the level of commitment you choose. And so choose a level that pushes you a little bit, but that doesn't scare you from actually doing it. If you're ordering food while in your silence, it's as easy as pointing to what you want on the menu. You can point at yourself and then make a zipping motion across your lips from left to right to indicate you are practicing silence to those who engage you. And keep smiling though if you want them to actually interact, otherwise most will apologize and give you space. And finally, in silence, observe with curiosity how people react and take nothing personally. Now, when it comes to meditation is one of those practices that has so many different paths, so many different forms and ways in which one can practice. So the meditation that you'll be practicing today and onward through most of these 9 days will be a meditation of mindfulness. There are many forms and purposes to meditation, and mindful meditation has the purpose of simply giving you a deeper awareness and consciousness of what is going on inside of you and outside of you. Now, quite often people believe that meditation is about emptying the mind to find peace, and those same people often go crazy trying to empty it. For the natural state of the mind is a mindfulness. It has thoughts, it has energy moving through it. If you can allow that energy to flow, if you can allow those thoughts to move through, you will begin to find a peace in their fluidity, in their flow, and in their movement. Now, I'm not going to be teaching you a technique in meditation, but rather be sharing a philosophy of practice. It is this mindfulness philosophy. And to really paint the story of what this philosophy is, I'd like to share a story with you. You see, there was once a king who owned a most beautiful horse. Probably the most beautiful horse in the entire kingdom. Unfortunately, the king could not enjoy his horse, for it was wild. And every time the king attempted to ride the horse or even saddle it, the horse would begin to kick and shake and would not let anyone near. Frustrated, the king put a challenge out to the kingdom that to the man who could tame his horse, he would give his eldest daughter's hand in marriage. Men came from all over. Some were horse trainers, others snake charmers with their flutes, some strong, some weak, but none, not one, could tame the horse. The king was ready to give up when late one day a young boy, maybe 14 years of age, came and told the king that he could tame the horse, but that he would need 7 years, and that the king would have to lend him the horse to do it. The king, exasperated by this point, agreed and let the young boy leave with the horse. In truth, the king assumed the boy would also fail, but by that point no longer saw any value in the horse. 7 years passed, and the king had mostly forgotten about the horse and the boy, until one day, while visiting down in the town center, the king saw his horse, and he saw, riding upon it, this young man. And he realized that young man is that same young boy. So he sent one of his servants quickly to the young man to invite him to the castle. And so the man went, and when the king asked him, he said, How is it that you, when all others could not, that you tamed the horse?" For the king was amazed and dumbfounded. How had this boy achieved what no one else could? The boy responded, "I did not tame the horse. Rather, I came to understand the horse and how to work with it. For the first couple of years, I simply observed the horse and made no action to tame or interfere with it. I watched what the horse enjoyed doing, what it ate, what it did not eat, and how it responded to things. I watched what fields the horse loved to run in and play in. I watched what trees it would sit under the shade of. I watched what bushes it would eat berries from and what streams it would drink from. And in the 3rd and 4th year, I began to go with the horse to its favorite pastures. I would eat and drink from the same places, sometimes not very clean, but the horse knew no better. And in the 5th year, I brought the horse clean water, fresh berries, and much better than the ones it had been foraging for in the wild. The horse could tell the difference in quality and slowly but surely came to prefer the food and water I was offering. By the 6th year, the horse would often come and nuzzle me when it was hungry. It would let me know what it wanted and trusted that I could choose wisely what to provide. It was at this time that I fashioned a soft saddle and came one day to the horse to present it as a gift. The horse looked at me hesitantly for a moment, but then kneeled down so that I could lift the saddle upon him. And at the beginning of the 7th year, I came to the horse, and softly asked with my touch if I could climb onto the saddle. And the horse simply looked me in the eye, kneeled down, and allowed me to lift myself up easily. The horse does not see me as taking its freedom, but rather it sees itself as giving me mine. So, my Lord, I did not tame the horse. The horse taught me what it is to be tame. So can you imagine what the horse represents in your life? It is your mind. It's the restless, uncontrollable, and misunderstood mind. The mind will remain wild and rebellious if it is not understood. The mind takes in certain foods and stimulus and it reacts and responds. So observe the mind to see what these are. Observe without interfering. First, understand. Soon you will see what nourishment the mind is seeking from its cravings and desires, from its thoughts and beliefs. With this knowledge you can feed the mind what it truly needs. You can cultivate a healthy mind. In this way you will meditate. This is the mindfulness meditation, to simply observe your mind. Do not judge your thoughts. Do not try to change your thinking. Just observe it for now. So the practice that I recommend is to meditate for 15 to 30-minute increments. You can do them as 10-minute breaks in between, and so you do 10 minutes, take a break, 10 minutes, take a break, 10 minutes. And these first 2 days are dedicated to this practice. You will get the most benefit if you can commit to a total of 3 to 6 hours, depending on your level of meditative experience, of cumulative meditation each day. So that's about 6 to 12 sits of 30 minutes. Now don't get too overwhelmed by this. You can do just 3 hours for both of these days. You can even do just 1 hour. You can even do just one set of 30 minutes. The degree and commitment that you choose is your choice. Now, from the moment that you wake to the moment that you sleep, in every instance, even if you're not actually sitting in your meditation, be meditating. This means that when you are eating, when you are traveling, when you are engaged in another part or practice of this Heart Talk series, it is your practice to meditate mindfully, to be aware, to observe with curiosity everything that is going on within you and outside of you. It's only 2 days that I'm asking that you do this, and each day you will be given a little bit further depth of what you get to focus and explore within your meditations. And I can tell you that in these 2 days, if you really commit to this silent practice, to these meditative practices, it can have an impact of years of counseling. It can have an impact of massive transformation. The most difficult part of any process is learning to listen past all the noise and all the distraction to hear what your heart is guiding you to. So as you practice this silence and this meditation, know that you are taking an amazing shortcut through the most difficult process of getting to the heart of things. Now, meditation is like taking antibiotics to cleanse repetitive thinking. Few people endeavor to meditate for the full length of prescription, thus the seeds of repetition grow back stronger. So please stay consistent. Know that it will pay off dramatically and wonderfully in the end. A few things to remember while meditating. Smile. Don't take it too seriously. The more relaxed you are, the easier your meditation will be. Let the breath be a constant reminder of the present, but not feel obligated to follow it strictly. When you notice your mind has wandered from your breath, is actually the moment you are truly present. Otherwise you would not have noticed. So when you notice your wandering mind, simply observe it. Give it no judgment. And then look again to see what comes next, for the breath will always be there. Sit comfortably and supported if needed. Keep your back straight so that the muscles can relax into the stability of your spine. Refrain from lying down, as it can be a signal to the body to go to sleep, and that's not the practice that we're trying to do. It's best to close your eyes so as to lessen the distractions around you. And make sure you're in a nice quiet space while you do these meditative sittings. And make a commitment not to open your eyes until you complete your full meditation, whether it's a 10-minute increment, a 30-minute increment, or longer if you decide. You can use a timer, maybe on your phone. Just make sure you turn the ringer off. And let those around you and your friends and family know that you are dedicating this time, so that they don't call you anyway. If you find yourself becoming bored, know that is just a trick of the mind. It is a mechanism of resistance. Look into the boredom and create a curiosity there. I can guarantee you will find something for your attention. You may ask questions of your mind to inspire interest. If the mind is interested, it will observe with awareness, and wisdom will develop. If it only seeks answers, then it only strengthens existing knowledge or craving, so be curious. Don't seek, but simply be curious. And if you do find yourself getting tired or sleepy, this is usually the result of subtle resistance. The more we resist in life, the more exhausted we become. Simply allow each thought, each feeling, each moment to rise and pass. It could also be that you stayed up too late, so get better rest next time. And if you'd like, at the end of the day, after you've experienced all this silence and all this meditation and anything else that you may be doing, go ahead and take a journal out and journal about your experiences. What thoughts, insights, challenges, and curiosities come up. And be sure to check your email tomorrow for a message with your next instructions. I hope you have an amazing day. Enjoy your practice, and we'll talk again tomorrow.